This is good stuff. I'm glad they're doing it. They need to do more of it. They need to start doing this for Mahmoud Khalil, Rumeysa Öztürk. They need to start doing this for Mozen. They need to start amping up the pressure in the exact same way, put their bodies on the line in the exact same way. It's easier to do in the United States of America against this administration.
Supreme.
They have to talk about our foreign adversaries. There's no other speed for the American. To talk about American incompetence on American terms alone is impossible. It's also ironically why so many people will constantly say, "Oh, Hasan, why do you always resort back to America bad? You have one speed, America bad." It's like, well, I'm an American. Yeah, of course. I'm an American, and I want to say America good. One day, I dream that I will say America good. But as it stands, America currently bad.
The Supreme Court has ruled against the Trump administration once again on the issue of deportations. Now, this case centered on a group of Venezuelan men being held in Texas. The White House wants to deport them without due process, but the court temporarily blocked that in an apparent 7-2 decision. Scott McFarland is outside the Supreme Court with the latest. Scott, good morning to you. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Gail, for now, the High Court has halted more of these Alien Enemies Act deportations, but it's unclear how long that halt's going to last. But it is clear the Trump administration is welcoming this fight.
The Trump administration is asking the Supreme Court to roll early blocking the deportation of Venezuelan migrants being held in Texas. The High Court's order came in the early hours Saturday after the ACLU said the migrants got this paper saying you've been determined to be an alien enemy subject to apprehension, restraint, and removal from the United States. But Justices Clarence Thomas and Sam Alito dissented from the majority. Alito writing, "The court issued unprecedented and legally questionable relief." Among those deported last month using the Alien Enemies Act was Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was mistakenly put on the flight despite having protected status. Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen met with him last week.
I was there to make sure that he was still alive and check on his health.
Sunday, Van Hollen dominated the airwaves, blasting the Trump administration for defying a Supreme Court order to facilitate Abrego Garcia's return.
My focus is not on one man, it's on making sure one man's rights are secured so that we can uphold the rule of law.
The administration continues to argue Abrego Garcia is in Salvadoran custody and denies it's defying the court.
I stand by the fact I think we did the right thing here. We removed the public safety threat, a national security threat.
While some Republican lawmakers acknowledge the mistake.
The administration won't admit it, but this was a screw-up. Mr. Garcia was not supposed to be sent.
We watched all of these Sunday interviews yesterday. Fantastic
to El
stuff.
Salvador.
A surprise over the weekend, Senator Van Hollen revealed before the Trump administration did, Abrego Garcia has been transferred from that terror prison to a nearby detention facility in El Salvador. But Tony, the administration says even if released back into U.S. custody, Abrego Garcia is not coming back to the U.S.
All right, Scott, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We're here because we believe that the rule of law should
Maxwell Frost travels to El Salvador to demand the return of wrongfully deported man Abrego Garcia.
be followed by everyone, including the President of the United States. And we're in a situation where the administration has sent someone here to El Salvador by mistake, admitted to it. A Supreme Court decision has come down to say you need to facilitate the return of this man back to the United States so he can go through due process. And the administration is saying, no, we're not going to do it. In fact, we just had a meeting earlier today with the embassy, and we left that meeting with absolutely zero indication that this administration has is going to facilitate or wants to facilitate the return of Abrego Garcia back to the United States so he can go through due process. The Constitution applies to all people in our country. Due process applies to all people in our country. It's one of the things that sets our country apart from other places across the entire world. And so we're worried, of course, we demand the release of Abrego Garcia, but we're also worried about our own constituents. We represent people across the entire nation. I'm from Orlando, Florida. A community filled with immigrants, a diverse community, and we're getting hundreds and hundreds.
This is good stuff. I'm glad they're doing it. They need to do more of it. They need to start doing this for Mahmoud Khalil, Rumeysa Öztürk. They need to start doing this for Mozen. They need to start amping up the pressure in the exact same way, put their bodies on the line in the exact same way. It's easier to do in the United States of America against this administration. It's literally easier to do. You don't even have to travel to El Salvador, but it's good that they are. It's good that they are. Make no mistake. But they have to do this exact same thing now for all the students, which, for the record, 1,500 students, 1,500 U.S. students right now, like students on student visas right now, have falsely had their student visas revoked by the Department of Homeland Security. And according to Aaron Reichlin, who I seemingly bring up quite a bit nowadays, Aaron Reichlin Melnick, these arbitrary revocation of student visas was so stupid and so arbitrary that at the first sight of pushback, they actually reversed those decisions. Here it is. Again, something that is not getting a lot of coverage, unfortunately. This is something that I talk about quite a bit, but I don't really see this anywhere else. I don't see this in mainstream media. I don't see the mainstream media talking about the student visa revocations as much. I mean, there was this example as well. Yeah, so if you're a computer vision PhD and you get a speeding ticket, you can get deported. This was from April 15th. Yeah. Father of 5 kids and 1 year to go before he finishes his PhD. And now Suguru Onda has had his student visa revoked without notice. He's being told to go back to Japan within 15 days because of his alleged criminal history. But he only has 2 speeding tickets and a fishing citation from 2019 that was dismissed. And it's fucking insane. We are cooking is what made America great, okay? This is quite literally, this is what we mean when we talk about like, oh, brain drain or immigrants make America great. These are the people that we're talking about. All the way from those who work in the agricultural sector down to these guys. And we're hitting every avenue right now. Cutting off your nose to spite your face. That is what white nativist anti-immigration looks like. Senator Pete Welch says, I just met with Moza Madawi where he's being held in Vermont. He was detained when he showed up for a citizenship interview. He should be released so he can become a citizen. I think that they need to do this, but they need to do this in front of cameras. Like it should be him and Bernard too. You know what I mean? Like Bernie should be going there. Like the very fact that the Mozan situation is so insane that like the federal immigration authorities unironically honeypotted this person by saying, oh yeah, just come into our offices and you'll become a citizen today, only to trap him and detain him. So psychotic. But anyway, the Japanese guy got his visa reinstated, and a lot of these guys are actually getting their visas reinstated. Here it is. This hasn't got enough attention, says Aaron Reichlin Melnick. Over 1,500 students have had their visas revoked on mostly nonsense reasons, with ICE often telling them to leave immediately or be arrested. But then, when sued, ICE suddenly started saying they don't have to leave, actually. It's insane. Did you see this story? My mom sent this to me. Unprompted, apparently this is what radicalized her. I was a British tourist trying to leave the U.S. Then I was detained, shackled, and sent to an immigration detention center. Wait, what the f***? Graphic artist Rebecca Burke was on the trip of a lifetime, but as she tried to leave the U.S., she was stopped, interrogated, and branded an illegal alien by ICE. Now back home, she tells others thinking of going to Trump's America, don't do it. What the hell is going on, man? Yo, you can't go after white women with turf bangs. That's it. That is the most... There's only one group left after white women with turf bangs. White guys. This is like the last group of people that under a white supremacist construct, you're not supposed to be attacking. They're even doing that to white guys. What the... Do we think that like America does not have a robust tourism sector? What is happening? I just don't understand it. Like what... We are quite literally just ruining this country's economy sector by sector. It almost feels as though we are deliberately trying to make sure every sector is busted. No more tourism. And I mean this sincerely, by the way. If you're a foreigner that is seeking to come to the United States of America, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't come here. It is dangerous. It is unironically dangerous. If you are an American, legal permanent resident, and you want to leave the United States, don't do it. if you have a visa and you are legally here, but you are not a natural born or naturalized citizen, do not leave the American state. Don't leave, because there have been stories of the Department of Homeland Security just erroneously deciding you're not coming back into the country and revoking the visas of people who are legal. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this already, but yeah, the U.S. faces $90 billion tourism hit as Trump's tariffs, deportation push drives away visitors. But it's not tariffs necessarily, maybe for like Canada, but it actually is the deportation stuff. The more people hear stories about like the more people hear horror stories about visiting America and how big of a mistake that is, because the dumbest high school graduate you've ever seen with a fucking inferiority complex gets to detain you falsely for no reason, the less people are interested in coming here. Good. Nothing more annoying than going to a beautiful national park with a family trying to enjoy nature and being mobbed by 10,000 Chinese, Indian, and Russian tourists. Oh, I hate, God. People are fucking animals, dude.
Donde hemos perdido los derechos es aquí en nuestro país.
Salvadorans react to Abrego Garcia's deportation.
Donde hemos perdido
where we've lost
los derechos
our rights
es aquí en nuestro
is
país.
Here in our country. This gentleman has not committed any crime. He has not lost his rights because he was deported from the United States unjustifiably. If the country where he did the crime requires it, then that's how it should be. He should return. That's what I agree with. If there is already a foreign court from where he was supposed to be legally that issued an opinion stating that he must be returned to this country, I imagine that the relevant investigations will lead to the conclusion of whether or not it's necessary for him to be returned to his country. Well, to the United States. I'm confused. Oh, also, Charlie Kirk went on the Bill Maher show and apparently clashed with Bill Maher over the Abrego Garcia deportation.
Does come to light that there really is no evidence that this guy was a gang member, that he got swept up, which is very understandable, that when you do a sweep, when you're doing big things, yes, nothing is going to go perfect. But if it does come to light, I would hope that some Republicans have the spine to say, yeah, that's not right.
Don't wag your tail at me.
You are allowed to.
Don't wag your tail at me like that. Place.
Deport under the Alien Enemies Act.
Correct.
Someone who is part of a recognized terrorist organization, which MS-13 is pretty close to a terrorist organization.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you know, you're bending all these words.
And he's not an American citizen. We got to acknowledge that.
No, absolutely
right?
not.
So that's important.
But he wasn't here illegally either.
No, he was.
One thing, Judge.
Wow, what a great back and forth that was. My mom told me about a time where we went to Niagara Falls when I was little. Apparently, a group of Chinese students really wanted to take a pig with me and asked my mom. So now there's just some picture of this group of Chinese schoolboys holding a random American baby out there. If there was no tourism, my mother nor those boys would ever have that memory. Okay, that's the wackest reason for there to be tourism in the country. No disrespect, Yoski Broski. Not to shit on your formative memory. I'm kidding. You're such a hater today. I'm in a mood. I'm sorry. Is Bill Maher fully right-wing now? Yes. Oh, I wanted to cover this as well. Apparently, friend of the show, Andrew Schultz, went on trigonometry, which they're so lame. And this is what he said, apparently.
The sides switched so much. You know, when I was younger, like, Democrats were cool. They were getting their dick sucked in the office. They were like, right? They were like supportive of like hip hop music. They said, do whatever you want. Like, we don't want to be in your bedroom. They were cool with gay people. Like, it was cool to be a Democrat. Now, conservatives got 3 baby mamas. The president got 3 baby mamas. He's getting pussy left and right. Right? He's cool. He's the one saying, say whatever the fuck you want. So now conservatives have become Democrats. So I don't think I've changed. I just like the dudes that get pussy and say whatever they want.
Yeah, I think this is post hoc rationalization for Andrew Schultz's decisions. That's all this is. Retract that friend of the show part. I mean, come on. I will not retract it.
So it's you want me to be a Democrat again? Get some pussy. Tell me.
Yeah, say what you want. Felix responded, hey, yo, blood, Trump letting us say what we want. Long as we not talking sweet on the only democracy in the Middle East. No, hey, yeah, saying that the Republicans let you say whatever you want is so funny, because go make any joke about a prominent Republican and you will have people fucking crying for days in your mentions about how mean you are, how mean-spirited you are. He's like, this is why I left the left.